What it do, YouTube? It's your boy, D, the one and only Black Sheep. Now I'm fucking with y'all though, family. In this video, man, I want to remind y'all, man, the importance of silence, man. You know, I made a video about this topic a while back, but silence is important for multiple reasons, family. And before I start this video, I just want to say peace to everybody who's watching, no matter what age you are. Time is an illusion. People are gonna look at you crazy because they haven't taken time out their day to detach from this physical, man. And this physical is what holds you, the person functioning your body down, because then you feel like you are shackled down for specific things in this world that you gotta have or you can't gain, you know. And that's why I tell you, man, it's not that you control your reality, but the things that you've been taught control you. Like a motherfucker that can't get out of the shit they want. You know, it's like going to the army, but once you sign or once you do something and you don't want to go, well, they gonna drag your ass unless you know, smoke some weed or do some dumb shit to get your ass kicked out. But then you fucked up, you know. That's playing and wasting time. But that's what most of these, people do. They play games or they like to get under your skin. But silence is different, because when you're silent, you're working on yourself. You got time all for you. You don't play games. It's not that you don't play them, but you've been in enough games to figure out what the fuck's real. You know, they're in a state of depression or unpleasantry because they ain't grateful for the things that they are inhabiting daily. You know, say someone is offering you, something, or they're sending you good luck. You know, that's good, because that means, you're doing good about you, man. But if someone has done you dirty, or, you feel like you got to get back at someone and you want to use your mouth, this right here is going to get you in places that you don't want to be in, because the mouth has a mind of its own. That's why you don't ever want to use it unless spoken to. Especially if you're a man of power, you are driven with the internal things, not the external. Because if you're external, well, then people can tell you what they want you to hear. And if you are a person with a spirit that is not yet strong or strengthened, well, you're gonna fall for the attacks that person is getting or sending your way, because you haven't realized that self-mastery is about you. You can only control you, family. So the reactions you give to people are things that they are gonna take on and try to hold accountable for you. That's why I say, man, silence, man, it's pretty much saying welcome to my world. You know, the underworld, the darkness, the mysteriousness, and the sophistication of all you need is for you, man. That's when people will realize, what the fuck, like, who is he, or what is he doing that I don't know? And I'm gonna tell you, family, it always works. Silence is the key, and it humbles you. It humbles people that feel like they are better than you, because they ain't worth your time, man. If you are silent, man, you don't give a fuck about nothing or no one, because you shouldn't. You know, you're yourself at the end of the day, and people are gonna have something to say about you regardless, family. You know, you could be the best or you could be the most gentlest person to someone, but this world is reversed. So you go treat a motherfucking female like, if you were Shrek or trying to rescue her, she's gonna put you on the bottom of that category, man, because of social media, social engineering, and the way that people function. They're motherfucking zombies in the physical, because someone who loves themselves and really loves their body is not gonna let no one control it from the inside or from things that have nothing to do with them. I said a mouthful, family, but the real will relate. And I'm telling you, silence will make people, reflect on themselves, whether they like it or not. Because if you are real and really who you say you are, you're not gonna let no one fuck with you. for the people that have caused you to go silent, whether you've been in problems, you've been in these fights, or you had an ex or a lover that you was trying to fuck with, and it didn't always go that way you wanted it to, family, because that's how the world works, man. You gotta be ready for that overhand right that this motherfucker throws you, man, because you can't really see something that you ain't ready for, and that's why life can be tough, man, because people, they think they know it all, but when the wrong or the right thing comes they way, they're not ready for it, so they lose it, or they don't know how to take it, so it literally passes right through them, man, or right by them. And it's sad, family, because most people realize, or they don't realize what they have until they lost it. And that just shows you how low we have dropped in this world, to where people don't give a fuck about nobody, more. They just care about what they could do for themselves. But yet, you want to be with a boy or a girl or a lover, or you want to be around people, but you're, someone who is greedy and has this envy about you, man. That shit's gonna get you nowhere, because I've been there, family, and I can tell you that there's no good from it, there's no good from it. I've tried to do the wrong things to maybe make the right out of them, but it just won't get you nowhere, family, because you can only do the wrong things for so long, until the wrong things get your ass, And that's why I tell you, really make sure that what you're doing is worth it, and you're gaining something that is going to benefit you in this life, The glow and the masculine energy that you walk with, family, is here to show you that that's all you need, Nobody's going to be able to really, walk in your shoes, man, because they don't have the energy you have, so they don't feel you, man. They don't feel you. And that's why I'm here to tell you, man, that I feel you, and that's why I'm trying to tell you this message, especially for my kings that are on these high ass days of where that you can't be fucked with, man, because the key's inside of you, man, and once you turn it on, you gonna let whatever's gotta go, that shall it be, man, because you are the master, man. This world is all about what you can do for it. But what if you just say, fuck the world, man, I'm gonna do for myself. I'm gonna take care of everything that's around me. I'm gonna water the grass. I'm gonna eat healthy. I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna strengthen my mental. If I smoke weed, I'm gonna use it for the right things, not to use it and lose everything that was once a part of me. Fuck no. Because little do you know, family, you are being tested by the universe. So everything you do has a con and a pro to it, And that's because I don't have to make any examples. Life has showed you that previously, time and time again, by the things you do, I'm not gonna say if you catch a football, then you caught it, or if you dropped it, you dropped it. Yeah, it's a perfect example of your reality. Just like if you had got a job interview, you could choose to go or you don't. But the things that happen to you after what was being given, it's all on you. So remember, family, the best thing to do is to be silent, to work hard in the dark, man, because ain't hard work appreciated ever until, it's something that can't be seen no longer, You gotta have a scarcity mindset, man, because most things in this world are in the hands of people that crave what they want. But you gotta have a mind to where nothing can get in your brain, because you are powerful, family. Realize your worth, man, before someone else realizes their worth. And then you're in this battle and you're losing against someone that has loved them. If you're silent, well then you're pretty much telling the enemy that you don't need nothing. The games don't affect you, or you're not paying attention, because silence is for you. It's not for them. You might be asking yourself, what do you mean by that? Well, you choose to go silent whether or not you want to. Silence is never for them. It's always for you, because you're reminding yourself that nobody appreciates the good you do. So stop doing good for others and only put it into yourself, man. And maybe will they feel like they fucked up, and they gonna feel like that, because people can't take back the things they do in this life, man. And that's the only thing that will eat at them, because that's the shit that they will walk with and live with for the rest of their eons that they are here, you know. You don't ever gotta throw no punch, let alone say, the F word to somebody. Walk away, because if someone felt like you ain't worthy of them, well then let their arrogance and anything that they feel like they are good for be the reason that they have nothing now. Because a diamond is only gonna come once in a lifetime, you know. You don't see every diamond out here, because if that's the case, y'all, you see every motherfucker in a mansion, in a Lambo, never working in a day in their life. Everybody be walking around like, cloudy with a chance of meatballs falling from the fucking sky, That's how life would be. And that's why life ain't that way, man. Because people have gave up on themselves. They don't believe. They don't have nothing to believe in, But yeah, silence is key, family. And if you could show the enemy that you have silence at your disposal, well then they ain't gonna have really much to say to you. But they gonna envy you for the fact that you don't need nothing but yourself, man. Or they gonna try to pick at your pie, because only if you know your energy is life force, man. And energy is the most precious thing in this world to anybody known to mankind. You might think it's gold, money, food, house, cars, chains. It is your energy, man, because it's something that's no longer given to them, and it can no longer be bought. What the fuck is more rare than that? It's like a person that's gone, because if they are here, well then you can no longer gain access to that person. And I said a mouthful, family, but when you realize that this is life, you will appreciate life, because life is only going to show you so much of what it is you need to grasp, take in, and to use to help you around this dark psychology of the world, man. You think I want to see people killing themselves over women, or depressed over things that they can't get their hands on, which could be money, or dying to take a bitch out, man? I'm not gonna say fuck that lady, but her mindset is kabobbled, man. So you need to drop her and focus on the things for you. Women that love you ain't gonna force you to buy them food. Fuck no. They gonna appreciate the time you give them, because then alone they admire you for that reason. But now the question that I have to you is, what are you gonna do with that pain? What are you gonna do with all that fire? How are you gonna learn to use it? How are you gonna enforce that upon your will to gain what it is you desire in this physical dimension, this density? You must use the things that have been given to you to forge you, to make you, to strengthen you from the in and then out. Because pain is something that reminds you of that you are here, grounded, living. You might mean, what do you mean? Okay, you are happy and you are taking, say you are in a state of happiness and you always take it for granted. Well, you don't take the pain forever for granted, because the minute you feel that pain, or let's say you go to a state of depression, and that state of why you feel like that, you know that is what keeps you inferior, because that reason is why you are here today, doing bigger and better things, But yeah, family, if you can understand that pain is here to forge you, like a sword that was cut and now has been, refurbished or reestablished or redesigned, that is you, because you were down. You know what the pain feels like, and that's why you don't wish it on nobody. But I can tell you, you will regret the pain if you don't make a change, family. because the pain is here for a reason. You gotta make a choice what you want to do with that pain. You know, family. And I hope that you want to do better, man. Because if someone has cut you or feel like you ain't nothing to them, well, then that should make you feel like who the fuck they think they is. You know, but don't have to prove it to them. Just feel like that, man. Because then it's gonna make you realize who you are. Question. That's when the ego detaches, man. Because the ego was taught so much only, but not everything. And that's when you realize, man, the ego never helped you. It pulled you away from yourself, man. Because you thought you had to speak or show or to be someone that you're not for somebody else, man. And you don't ever want to be like that. You want to be a person that shines without speaking. Remember, silence is power, because power is something that can only be gained by putting in the work, man. And most people don't have the power to even go silent. You know why, family? Because they need the attention. They crave the intimacy or the external value, because people, their minds aren't strong enough to fight their actions. You know, that's why your boy D is here to drop this realness for you, man. You know, silence is never bad. So if someone says that you ain't this because you silent, remember, they are telling you that because you are silent. Don't play into the games. Just stay calm. Stay like the water. Be the water. You know, flow. And then, well, you know that the enemy is testing you, because they can't take the silent game or the quiet game. You know, remember, we were always playing the quiet game growing up, but you really never knew what it was. And nobody ever liked to be quiet. They would be quiet for a while, but they couldn't take it all day, because quiet is power, man. When you feel like nothing needs to be said, well, then you realize that these motherfuckers ain't on your level without even saying it. So it's gonna make them feel, or make them feel a little agitated because of you. But remember, if you ain't making them feel some type of way, you ain't doing or being yourself, man. Because you're not supposed to be like them. The black sheep is never like everybody else, you know. Everybody's on these roller coasters, man, and you're at this water park that's abandoned, man. Remember that. So you want to be something that no one is, man. And then, well, you know, okay, I am him. They don't know what I've been through. And the best thing about it is they can't fuck with me, because I won. I made it. And they're losing, you know. But yeah, family, just focus, because you won't get money if you're worried about these haters or these critics, man. People always want to doubt your mind, your intellect. But what do they have? And you don't ever want to ask for it, because if that's something you got to do, well, then just don't do it, family, man. I've been there. But if you feel like you got to, then that's because there's something that you lack within yourself, man. Because you should only be interested in you. You know, I'm not saying you can't like these things or this bad female, but do they like you? And if they don't, well, then she's only putting you below. And you don't want to be that way, man. Because depression and all this negative frequencies is gonna live through your veins, man. And that slow poison is gonna take control over you at the darkest times that you would know. So that's why I say, family, you want to take time to know who you are. Be calm. Be the storm that they fear. But don't act on it. Be silent. Stay relaxed. And the power's within you, man. That's why these motherfuckers, you know, they crave you. They want to be around you. Or they want you to do things for them. All you need to do is be alone. Because you're going to die alone. You came here alone. And in this world, When you're alone, most people don't help you. So you look that down as alone, family. So remember, the key is to be silent, but to never stop working. Always do everything you were meant to do. Just don't say what you're gonna do. They don't need to know what you're gonna do because it don't concern them. Remember, I said when you go silent, you choose to, but it's for you. Go silent for you, family, because man, fuck this world, man. People are controlled and they programmed and they sleeping. You know, let them sleep good, but let them also know and wonder why the fuck are you up always shining like the sun that they can't look at. Well, other than that, family, I'll see you on the next video, man. I love y'all, and I just want y'all to do better for yourselves, man, because if y'all don't, well, then people are gonna always try to prove you wrong. But yeah, stay up, family, 100.